Hey, what's up my awesome copiers? It's Stephen again, and today I'm just going to be doing a very short video because I understand that it was just a few days ago where I gave you a last update of what happened in the markets last week and some news that was occurring. So if you want to find out more information, check out that video. But today's video is going to be a lot more short and sweet, and I'm just going to do a wrap up of what happened overall in March 2021. So actually I'm really pleased with our performance in March. We actually happened to do really well, and we made over 8% profit for the month. This is actually a tremendous achievement considering how there was a lot of issues in the market in terms of sensitivity to bond yields. And there was quite a lot of growth stock sell-offs kind of mid-March to the end of March. So we actually weathered that very well and actually managed to gain some significant growth. So I'm very pleased with that. So if we compare that to other industry benchmarks, the Nasdaq actually did just over 1.9% for the month. And actually it was outperformed this month by the S&P 500, which made over 4% growth for the month. And it has been a good while since the S&P 500 actually outperformed the Nasdaq. And a lot of that is to do with the rotation that I've been talking about in previous videos, from growth stocks to pandemic recovery stocks and other stocks that, such as financial services, that actually benefit from increased interest rates. So I think we managed to achieve this mainly because that I think I was quite agile at the beginning of the month and at the end of last month, and I actually diversified into a lot of different types of stocks and actually diversified into other areas which actually do well from potentially increased interest rates, such as financial services, insurance companies, and also some pandemic recovery stocks that we also took positions in as well, and also commodity stocks which actually did very well in the month of March due to increased oil prices. Some of that was to do with the Suez Canal incident. So all of that together actually made us perform really well for the month, and this actually just shows the power of diversification in a portfolio and staying agile and not stubborn and willing to make moves when the markets are not acting the way that you expect them to. We also had a lot of geographical diversification as well, which I think helped a lot because although a lot of the stocks in the US, again the growth stocks, suffered, we actually had a lot of upside from our stocks in the UK, which generally did pretty well for the month, as well as our stocks in Asia, based out of Hong Kong. So yeah, they did very well as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the performance of March, and I'm actually much more proud of the performance in March than I was of January and February, which had much kind of higher gains for the month, because, you know, as I said, March wasn't easy, and I think it just shows in the times where the market isn't very easy, it just shows how good your portfolio is and how it can weather different types of storms. So I was really pleased with the way that it held up. As we move on to the top 5 performing stocks of March, you won't be surprised to hear that many in these top 5 are either in commodity-based stocks or they are non-growth stocks, because that's the trend that we have seen in March. So number 1 best performing stock of March was Calumet Specialty Products. Calumet actually benefited a lot from the increase in the oil price this month. Also, they had a very good quarter and actually performed very well throughout that quarter, and there was a lot of positive sentiment in the market about Calumet specialty products. So they've actually made about 45% for the month, which is absolutely tremendous. The second best performing stock of the month of March was actually Hartford Financial Services, and a lot of the reason why Hartford Financial Services have done very well in March is because there is actually talks, and it's just talks at the moment, that Hartford could actually get taken over and acquired by Chubb Insurance, the very large insurance company. Obviously, this would be really great news if it happens and they actually get bought out at a premium. But it's just currently in talks at the moment, so we will see how that progresses. Also, they have also benefited from the potential increase in interest rates as well. So all in all, I think they're up 26% for the month, so that was a very good result. The third best performing stock of March is actually Dropbox. Dropbox, although is actually a growth stock, has actually done well for the month of March, and a lot of that is due to a rise that we had when it was announced that they are acquiring DocuSign, which I think is a very important piece of news that actually came out in March, because I think it adds additional competitive advantages to Dropbox for their customers. The fourth and fifth best performing stocks for March was actually a company called Waste Management, and they do what it says in the name, and actually they potentially benefit a lot from the opening up of the economy, because the more the economy is actually opened and the more that we see industrial uses, the more that industrial waste management is going to be needed, and they are going to grow their top line. So they actually did very well this month as well. They actually achieved a 13% increase in March. And lastly, FedEx as well, which has also done very well for March. And I think a lot of that is to do with this kind of rotation from growth stocks to other types of stocks in the economy. Overall, as a whole, we had a really good March in terms of our cryptocurrency holdings, which, as you know, is a fairly significant part of my portfolio. Bitcoin actually did really well from the beginning of March, and actually we've achieved about 22% growth from Bitcoin in March, but that hasn't only been one way. We did fairly well at the beginning of the month, and we saw quite a lot of growth. As the month progressed, there was a couple of pieces of news after we hit an all-time high of 61,000. There's a few bits of news, such as the options, Bitcoin options expiring, which caused a little bit of a sell-off in the market, as well as some regulations in Korea, which had a bit of a knock-on effect on the market as a whole. But also there was some really great news throughout the month as well. There was ETF filings by Fidelity and Goldman Sachs. There was news of a New Zealand pension fund that actually invested part of the fund in Bitcoin, which was really great as well. And there was a lot of news throughout the month, but all in all, again, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin as a whole. I think we have quite a way to run. I think we're seeing a lot of institutional demand and adoption, and I'm expecting, within the next couple of months, for some more kind of larger corporate companies to announce that they are buying Bitcoin for their balance sheet. So let's see how that goes. But also other cryptocurrencies also have done pretty well this month, such as Ethereum has actually done over 26% growth for the month, which has obviously helped out our portfolio as well. So all in all, I'm pretty relaxed and calm on cryptocurrencies. But as I've said, my strategy has not changed. And as we start to hit all-time highs again, I will look to trim part of my cryptocurrency holdings in order to kind of mitigate some of the risks, diversify into other areas to try and help our portfolio be as diverse as possible, and also protect some of our large gains. So I'm going to leave the video there for today, but overall I'm really happy with the way that things are going. I think not only have we made very good gains for the year, sitting on about 101% growth as of the end of March. So I'm very confident of not only providing growth in this portfolio, but also protecting your capital as well, which I know is very important to you all, and I take that responsibility very seriously. Thank you very much, everybody, and keep your eye out for more content, and let's hope for April, a really great April and 7 months in a row profit. Thank you very much, everyone, and take care.